The modern highway is not just a transport network, but a high-speed psychological battlefield of competing human egos. Most drivers believe they're rational actors moving from point A to point B, but their brains are trapped. When you step into your car, you are not just entering a machine, but you are entering a suit. We call this the mobile territory, and it represents a deep-seated psychological extension of your own personal living space. Inside this glass and steel cocoon, your brain undergoes a process called Deindividuation, which strips away your social filters. You stop seeing a blue sedan, and instead you see an invading force that is threatening your perceived road dominance. This is why a simple lane change feels like a physical assault rather than a common movement in public space. Your primitive lizard brain cannot distinguish between a person cutting you off and a predator entering your private mountain cave. The adrenaline spike is identical, and the urge to fight back becomes an overwhelming biological command that is very hard. In a normal social setting, we use eye contact and facial expressions to de-escalate tension and build a shared humanity. But at 60 miles per hour, you cannot see the driver's eyes, so you fill that void with assumptions. We call this the fundamental attribution error, where we believe our own mistakes are accidents, but yours are character flaws. You might cut someone off because you are in a rush, but if someone does it to you, they are. This cognitive bias creates a cycle of hostility, where every driver believes they are the only victim in the sea. The car acts as a physical mask that provides a false sense of anonymity, which encourages us to behave poorly. You would never scream at a stranger in a grocery store for walking too slowly, but you will drive mad. This is because the grocery store is a human environment, while the road is a mechanical environment that devalues life. Our sense of time also becomes distorted in the driver's seat, making a 5-second delay feel like an insult. We are hyper-focused on our goal, and anything that slows our progress is viewed as a direct personal attack. The highway is one of the few places left where we feel a sense of total control over our environment. When another driver disrupts that control, they are not just taking a lane, they are challenging your status and power. This triggers a territorial defense mechanism that was designed to protect us from tribal invaders thousands of years ago today. We are essentially using ancient hardware to operate modern software, and the result is a constant state of neurological friction. Understanding this shift is the first step in reclaiming your humanity while you are behind the wheel of a machine. By recognizing the car as a tool rather than a territory, we can start to lower the temperature of rage. The next time someone merges into your lane, try to remember that they are just a human trying to get. Your brain will try to tell you it is an assault, but your logic must tell you it is moving. Peace on the road starts with the realization that we are all just sharing a very small piece of. The biological reality of commuting involves a massive surge in cortisol levels that most people never truly learn to manage. When you enter the flow of traffic, your nervous system shifts into a state of hypervigilance that mimics a predator. This state of high alert is sustainable for short bursts, but during a long commute, it becomes a toxic chemical. Your heart rate increases and your blood pressure rises as your body prepares for a physical conflict that never actually. This constant state of physiological arousal makes you hypersensitive to the movements of every single vehicle around your private metal. A car drifting slightly into your lane is processed as a threat to your physical safety and your social standing. We must also consider the concept of the alpha driver, which is a psychological profile that demands absolute road authority. These individuals view the highway as a hierarchy where speed and lane position determine who is superior and who is. For the alpha driver, being passed is not a matter of traffic flow, but a direct humiliation of their personal. They will accelerate to prevent a merge because their ego is inextricably tied to the position of their front bumper. This behavior is a form of displaced aggression, where the frustrations of a difficult life are vented on the road. If a man feels powerless at work or in his home, he will seek to regain power on the steering wheel becomes his scepter, and the gas pedal becomes his weapon in a war against the entire world. This is why road rage is often explosive and seemingly out of proportion to the actual mistake that was made. The driver is not just reacting to a blinker, but they are reacting to every failure they have ever felt. We also see the impact of sensory overload, where the brain is bombarded by too much visual and auditory data. The flashing lights and the roar of the wind and the constant motion create a state of mental fatigue. When the brain is tired, it loses its ability to regulate emotions, and the prefrontal cortex begins to shut down. This leaves the emotional centers of the brain in complete control of your hands and your feet, and you become a passenger in your own body, while your primal instincts take over the task of navigating the concrete. There's also the psychological phenomenon of the glass shield, where we feel invincible behind a layer of safety glass. This perceived invulnerability makes us bold and aggressive because we do not expect to face any real physical social. We forget that the other driver is a person with a family and a story and a soul of their To combat this, we must practice intentional empathy by forcing ourselves to imagine the life of the person in front. Perhaps they are rushing to a hospital, or perhaps they just lost their job and their mind is far away. By humanizing the enemy, we dissolve the territorial walls that our brain has built up during the long drive home. The goal of every journey should be to arrive with your character intact rather than just arriving at your home. We must learn to view the road as a collaborative space where the success of one driver is the success. This shift in perspective requires a high level of emotional intelligence and a willingness to let go of our pride. It is a daily practice of patience that transforms the commute from a battle into a period of quiet reflection. You are in control of your reactions even when you are not in control of the traffic around your car. Choose to be the driver who breaks the cycle of rage rather than the one who fuels the fire today. Your mental health is more valuable than your position in a line of cars that are all going nowhere fast. Take a deep breath and relax your grip on the wheel, and let the anger melt into the asphalt below. You are more than a machine, and the world is more than a map of lanes and exits and signs. The highway serves as a mirror reflecting the deepest insecurities and the hidden shadows of the modern human psyche today. We see the desperate need for validation in the way people drive expensive cars to prove they have finally made. We see the fear of being left behind in the way people weave through traffic to gain a single car. This frantic energy is a symptom of a society that values speed over substance and competition over community and life. When we are on the road, we are stripped of our titles and our clothes and our social status markers. We are reduced to our behavior and our ability to follow the rules that keep us all alive and well. This anonymity is a test of character that most people fail because they believe no one is actually watching them. But you are watching yourself, and your brain is recording every act of aggression as a part of your. If you act like a monster on the road, you will eventually start to feel like a monster in life. The transition from the road to the home is often difficult because the adrenaline does not simply vanish when you. Many people bring the tension of the highway into their living rooms and take it out on the people they. This is the hidden cost of the mobile territory, and it is a price that is far too high to. We must create a psychological buffer zone between the car and the door to ensure we remain the people we. Turn off the news and put on some calming music and let the silence of the cabin settle your mind. Recognize that the road is a shared utility and not a private kingdom that you must defend with your life. The act of driving is a responsibility that requires our full attention and our highest level of moral and ethical. When we respect the territory of others, we are ultimately respecting ourselves and the life we have chosen to live. The frustration you feel is a choice, and you can choose to let it go as easily as you. Let the lanes be lanes and let the cars be cars, and let yourself be a person of peace. The journey is the destination, and the way you travel defines the person you are becoming with every single. Do not let a stranger in a sedan dictate your emotional state or ruin your day with a simple mistake. You are the master of your soul and the captain of your vessel, whether it is on land or. Drive with grace and move with purpose, and remember that we are all just trying to find our way. The road is long, but life is short, and there is no reason to spend it in a state. High-speed peace is possible when you realize that the only person you are racing is yourself in the. Close the door and turn the key, and decide to be the light in the sea of heavy. This is the psychology of the road, and it is the key to a better and safer world.